Hi Babu,
Hi,
welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
thanks.
It's a pleasure and an honor to have a senior musician like you from the music industry who's still very active, uh, runs, so many things, besides just what we saw playing the guitar. But you also have produced your own albums,
Yeah,
you work with so many production houses and for top companies in the country.
yeah,
So it will be wonderful for the viewers to know about your musical journey, things you've done, you've learned on the way, and
yeah.
some advice you'd like to give
Sure.
all the newcomers.
Yeah.
Please.
I started playing in 1977, I would say. I mean, actually playing. And yeah, I started my career strangely playing keyboards.
Okay.
And I knew only one song, which was When the Music's Over by the Doors. And that time our band was used to play once a week at this place called Hell. I don't know if you know about it,
Where is this?
which used to be in Hotel Hilltop.
Okay. At Worli.
Yeah, and that we had another guitar. I mean, he was the guy who really, you know, made me pick up the guitar. Was the guitar player before me in the band, called Chattopadhyay. Fabulous guitar player who's still there, and he's getting back into playing. So I probably will work with him on one tune or something like that. And we used to play there once a week. Then the band was Neil, Ronnie, who you met outside, and Shiv and few other people, and I played one song on keyboards.
Okay.
That was my musical journey, I'd say.
Right. But then how did you kind of get into music as a child? How were you influenced as a
Actually,
career? Because in 70s...
I was very interested in playing, but didn't know how to go about it. Because maybe that time also there were not like these schools or a lot of teachers. And I think on my 14th birthday, my dad bought me a acoustic guitar, and I just started fooling around on it
Like a hobby kind
like
of.
a hobby. And then when uh, I had this guitar, I tried to learn a little bit on my own, and me and Ronnie used to play in the building in his house on the steps of the building. We used to try and work on songs and sing
All English songs or?
all English Beatles songs or whatever. And then when this band happened and they were playing, and then I said I'm going to play, take it up seriously, in the sense, I would pick up the guitar and start playing, so I sort of picked up on my own. I learned a few chords and whatever, and then I wouldn't say like I learnt it all, but I was playing a bit. And then this band which we had, which they were playing in, all of them split up, and then we decided to make a band, and which was called People, which was already existing. I mean, this is another part of the People, like the.
Okay.
So me, Ronnie, Hosi, and Ranjit Barot, four of us made this band, and that's how it started.
Right. Even today, we have a lot of parental pressure as to don't send your child in music or let music be just a hobby. So, was this parental pressure in your time also?
It was a lot, because my dad was like completely against me to play in a band, because he wanted me to get into the family business, which was textiles.
Okay.
And at the age of 21, I did join my business.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
And I used to play like on the sly, and I had a lot of restrictions, because my dad was like very strict with me. And but finally it came through. I started traveling with the band, and we played a lot of shows in Ahmedabad, all over the country, Kanpur, IIT. We were very popular in that circuit. And in 81 he passed away, so then I had to take over the business.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and actually there was a long period I didn't play guitar at all. That was from, I think, 87 to nearly 2005.
Wow.
I did not seriously play. I was just playing, you know.
But you were managing your business.
I was in my business, and then 91 our business shut down for some problem. And in 95 I joined up with Ronnie's company called Musica, which I'm still there and we are part of.
Right.
And 2007 I got back into playing.
Okay.
In the studio I said I have to get back into playing, so I slowly started getting back into playing and did one song which, you know, I just came and this fabulous singer Vijay Prakash, he sang that song, and that's how my first album Somewhere Out There started.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. It's said that once you know how to swim and once you learn how to cycle, you can never forget it for life, even if there's a gap. But in music also, is it the same, that since you had a long period, a long lull of not playing the guitar, does it also, I mean, once you know how to play guitar, do you play?
No, I mean, you have to get back means, I mean, you get very rusty, you need your fingers to move. So, I mean, you have to play every day, you need to practice.
Does one tend to forget how to play if there's a
gap?
No,
it's not forget. You lose that motivation and you have to bring back that motivation.
Right.
You know, I look at it that way, and that's what happened.
Right.
So that one track started it all, and it just went on and on.
Nice. So you must have toured the country in 70s and early 80s, like you said. How has the scene changed? Because now we have new equipments, modern, recording equipment. You've seen studios then.
Yeah.
You now are a part of a studio today. So what has been your experience in terms of the kind of musicians you worked with then and today?
See, fortunately for us, that even in the 70s, we were probably one of the bands which had the best equipment. I mean, you know, for that time, or even today, it was world-class equipment for a band like us, you know, because it was bought from a band in Delhi, you know, and then strangely enough, I mean, you must have heard of the band called The Who. They had 2 amps which they sent to Goa in the 70s, you know, for people to play. And that guy fell broke and he sold us the amp, which is a 100-watt high watt, and we bought it that time for 5,000, which is, I still have, but due to a bad accident, you know, the amp is gone, but it's worth a bomb today, you know. So we were lucky in that aspect. But yes, when I started playing, my first show was on a handmade guitar because I didn't have money. My bass player Hosi Nanji made me this guitar, and I mean, like people talk, yes, about Ranjit Barot, he's got 5 drum kits now, 4 drum kits. He didn't have a drum kit that time, and we didn't have money to buy a drum kit, so we bought his drum kit part by part from different people, and we assembled that kit. Till later on, he went to Singapore and got his first kit. I mean, it was difficult because the import duties were so high that time, so it was not worth it to even buy something.
Correct. Any experiences during your band days or even later, which is a very interesting experience for us to know?
I mean, I think the great part about that time was, I mean, you know, we didn't get paid, we got paid peanuts. We traveled by 3rd-class compartment.
Oh, no flight and no...
No flight. We carried all our equipment in the compartment, and there were 2 bands traveling. There was another band called Waterfront. Both these bands did a lot of shows, and we carried everything 3rd class, all our gear, everything, traveled 3rd class, came back 3rd class. I think probably there was only one show ever we did where the band was flown down.
Oh.
But I think that was the best part of, you know, the band, because I mean that's what all about is, like, about bands traveling, gigging, whatever, you know. I think it's the best thing. So I mean, I don't think those times will ever come back, you know. So I mean, it was a great experience, great fun, and we had a large following in you know, all these IITs all over India. So I mean, we were quite established.
Right.
We had a big following in Ahmedabad, in the
Okay.
School of Architecture, in the NID,
Okay.
and we did play with a lot of bands who came. I mean, there was another band called Konarak, I don't know if you've heard of them, and Waterfront played with us. So you know, we were. It was small, but it was something special. See, I think the difference between our time and this time is, yes, people have much more money, which we didn't have. I mean, as kids, I mean, we had, okay, whatever we got, we got. But I think the great thing is today that a lot of parents, you know, of these kids are supporting in them in this. You know, maybe as a hobby, maybe as, I don't think you can really make a living out of playing live gigs in this country, because it's either, yes, maybe a few bands do, but mainly I think people, all the musicians surviving in this country are, you know, related to studios or film work, or, you know, I'm not talking about Bollywood gigs, because there they make enough money. I mean, I'm talking about our music.
Non-film music.
Yeah, I can take my nephew to a store, buy him a guitar for 10,000, get him pedals, get him a small amp. I mean, things have become really cheap, which we couldn't afford in those days, because, like I told you, the import duties were so high. And I think now you have more facilities for kids to learn music, or, you know, there's much more exposure.
Babu, could you share with us about some of the albums that you've released on digital stores?
We came out with the first album by Babu and Friends in 2008 called Somewhere Out There, and 2010 we released the second album, Electric Sky, and the new one, Element of Surprise, just released last year in December.
Okay, so what kind of music is it?
Like, I don't really believe in a certain genre of music. It just, what comes out comes out. The beautiful part of, I think, all the three albums is because of collaborating with so many musicians, their input comes into the song, which makes it different. So quite a few of the songs are done by my engineers. You know, they've put something down and we've worked on it.
Okay.
And that's the way we've done this album.
Okay.
Or other musicians have put in certain parts and I've worked on them. So it's really been like, I wouldn't call it my personal album, but I would say Babu and Friends. That's
Right.
the way I look at it.
Instrumental, or do you have vocals?
No, there are vocals and instrumental, but I think majority, I would say, is instrumental, but there are quite a lot of vocal tunes also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of collaborations, because that's how you would like to put it, have you gotten into any international collaborations with any artists from outside India?
Strangely, I just finished putting some parts together for this very, very talented producer, drummer, Narada Michael Walden, who's produced some great musicians, and who started playing with Vishnu Orchestra after Billy Cobham. And he suddenly, out of the blue, just told me recently that, you know, he needs sort of an Indian element in one of his songs, and can I put it together? And so I got in musicians and, you know, just produced these parts for him, and turned out really well.
So did you all meet up at some concert?
No,
or
strangely, I added him on Facebook in 2007.
Oh,
I've never met him in my life. I just chatted with him, that's it.
and you ended up working with him?
Yeah. So, and really, really nice musician, real good human being, and, you know, I think it's more the connection than, you know, than the music sometimes, you know, and I think that's what happened.
Has he heard any of your
Yes,
albums?
I've sent him all my albums, and he was very, very impressed, in the sense that uh, he always told me, you know, it's something which is coming out of your heart, you know, and that's how I feel about my music. It's not to prove anything or anything, but it's just me playing from my soul, or you know, the songs or whatever it is.
Right.
And I think that's the great part about these albums, you know, they are honest. Yeah.
Any piece of advice you'd like to give to the musicians of today? Anything that, from your experience of so many years?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I would talk as a guitar player. I mean, there's some really talented young musicians who are on the scene today, who are doing well for themselves. But my advice to everyone is basically, yes, you can have all the chops in the world, you can, you know, be technically brilliant, but I'd like to see you in your playing, you know, part of you, which somehow I miss, you know, in many of the guitar players I've heard. And I think that's very important, because you have to have your signature in your playing. You know, it's great to sound like other guitar players or influence. I mean, even I'm influenced by other players, but I think that is one thing which I sort of miss. I mean, which will come in time, I guess, but is soul and something, you know, coming out from them in their playing. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Thank you so much, Babu, for spending time with us.
Thanks a lot.
It was a pleasure meeting you.